What is up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Let's Do a Podcast. I'm Ryan.
I'm Anthony. Fist
Yeah.
pumping music.
You're rocking, Anthony. And of course, this music is by the one and only Dark Rizard. You can find him wherever you like to listen to music, royalty free.
Yeah.
He lets us pretty much use this for anything that I want. So, man.
Hopefully, he only for good stuff, though.
Huh?
Hopefully, only for good stuff because it's like good music. So
Yeah, no, he's released so many albums that are so good. Like, it's good music to put on while you're like working too.
Yeah,
because like really, that's usually what I do. Is I'm sitting right here and I just put it on and listen to it. And he has so many albums. If he finds the right person to listen to their music, I think he'll make a killing.
killing it.
Truly.
It's good stuff.
Oh, geez, guys, we're on part 1. We're almost there.
Yeah, we only have 2 more movies left.
Wow. Okay. Beer first, movie later. So
This is beer.
yeah, we're doing the Hefeweizen from False Idol. So there's not much facts from what I hear.
Yeah, so this is the Fenris Park. Fenris, I believe, is named after the wolf. There's a wolf in Norse mythology.
Sure.
I think that's the same as the wolf that's in Thor Ragnarok.
Mm-hmm.
So Fenris. But the entry in Untapped goes like this: day drinking, beach drinking, anywhere drinking. This refreshing Hefeweizen pairs well with life. Which that's like everything I do.
Yep.
So
it's pretty too. It's a good color.
But yeah, this is from Falls Idol over in North Richland Hills. And yeah, let's see what this sounds like.
Yeah. Oh yeah, go ahead.
3, 2, 1. They always sound different from each other.
Yeah, it's kind of fun to hear all the different sounds. So immediately from the smell,
Bananas.
banana. So that's how you know it's done right.
This shit is bananas. BANANAS. This shit is bananas.
Not to lie, I have had this quite a few times. So I've had it on tap. I've had it a couple weeks ago. I stayed at my parents' house while they were on vacation, and so I got it from one of the local beer distributor. I got it from Bearded Monk in Denton. So if you guys are in Denton, you're looking for a place that holds really good local beer, check them out. It's a great spot. Really great spot. Plus, they have some taps that you can also drink there. So
straight from the tap.
Yeah. Have you had a sip yet?
I did. I drank the leavings of the can, which I usually with a Hefeweizen. I should have done this. Usually with a Hefeweizen, there's usually some residue in the bottom of the can, but I didn't detect that. I didn't get that, so it may be filtered.
Yeah, I think it is filtered because I don't really get it much.
If you drink like a Hoegaarden or something like that, like a Belgian Hefeweizen, sometimes there's like a little bit of leavings on the bottom there. You gotta like empty most of it and then swish the rest of it and then pour the rest of it in your glass. But this is filtered, so no problem with that.
Yeah. So take a few more sips.
Definitely a banana flavor going on there.
Yeah, I was gonna say take a few more sips. Let us know how you're feeling about this. Do you like Hefeweizens?
I used to be a huge fan of Hefeweizen, but I haven't had it very often. Hoegaarden used to be like one of my favorite beers.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's mainly just been a while. All right.
Yeah.
Okay. So how are you feeling about this so far off the first few sips?
It's different from the usual jam. So it's not very bitter. It's kind of got a sweetness to it.
Mm-hmm.
But not like an overt sweetness. It's just that banana flavor. It's like the joke I always make with people is if like you're making a smoothie, you can put as much fruit as you want in the smoothie. But as soon as you put like one banana in there, it's a banana smoothie.
Yeah.
So this may be the case with this beer. It's like as soon as it tastes like bananas, now it's a banana flavored beer. So
I do have to say that I don't know if it's the cans that I got. I don't quite remember how it tasted on tap whenever I got it at False Idol. It just tastes a little different to me for a Hefeweizen. So again, like we'll see as it warms up. At the end of this episode, we'll talk about it. I know those weren't real words that just came out of my mouth. Um, that them I did it. Um,
Indeed.
yeah. We must be feeling it from our last beer. That's all I have to say.
Yeah.
So
We pre-gamed just for you.
all right. So we're gonna talk about events happening. It seems like all the events are this weekend on October 8th. So October 8th, we got the Backyard Pitmasters again
And
over at Roaring
I
Sons.
I need to get one of these classes in.
By the time you actually do it, they're not gonna be like whenever you're actually ready, they're gonna be gone. They're gonna be
I
like,
know.
we've moved on. Fourth anniversary party for Cowtown. We got the homebrew.
I'm gonna be there for that. Cowtown is where it's at, and they're like maybe like 5 minutes from my house.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Great spot.
yeah.
Homebrew competition with Denton County Home Brewing Guild over at Soul Fire Brewing. That I bet that would be fun.
Yeah. So some of those home brewing competitions, man, you get some freaking awesome like beers in there.
Yeah.
There's always also the spread can be like quite wide. You can have some ones that are like really awesome and also some ones that like not great.
Yeah. So
But yeah,
I've always
it's worth
wanted
it
to
for the
go to
awesome
one.
ones. Yeah.
I've heard nothing but fun times.
Yeah.
So I need to go to one.
You
But
want to talk to somebody about how to make beer? Those guys will talk your fucking ear off.
oh, for sure.
Yeah.
But more than likely, we will be at this next event, which is the Meet the Turtles / Shell Shock Beer launch at Martin House.
Oh yeah, did it last year. It was freaking awesome. It's like I'm gonna wear my shirt, drink turtles, eat beer,
Ooh,
or save beer,
yikes!
drink turtles.
Maybe they won't let you in this
Yeah,
time.
drink beer, save turtles.
But
it's I believe it's thrown by the it's jointly thrown by the Martin House and the Fort Worth Turtle Alliance. And last year, I don't know if they're going to do it this year too, but last year the Fort Worth Zoo brought turtles, and they just let them like wander about freely.
I bet they will.
Yeah,
but
people are on Twitter. People are on Twitter, not Twitter, not so much Twitter, but Facebook, and asking if they can bring their turtles as well. I'm like, don't bring your turtles, otherwise they may end up going to the zoo. So
yeah, you gotta like mark them somehow,
yeah,
like how Michael Scott marks his girlfriend. You know.
Yeah.
But yeah, more than likely we'll be at that one because I mean we're all pet
Turtles.
lovers and it's turtles, and you can get a really cool fucking shirt from there. So
yeah.
We have 2 Oktoberfest, one at Franconia, one at Odd Muse Brewing. I would love to go that one.
Muse. I
Third,
haven't been there in a minute.
right? I wanted to go there Saturday or 2 Saturdays ago, but they closed at 5 for a special event. I was so mad. I was like, "Come on, I'm coming to that area finally." But
what's up with these people and their special events?
Right? Get the fuck out of here.
It's like I went to Three Nations. I went to Three Nations a few weeks ago, and it's like they shut down half the place for a special event. It's like, come on, it's like Oktoberfest going on.
Yeah,
and you're shutting down half the place.
And then the 3rd anniversary party for Westlake Brewing, downtown Dallas.
I've not been there.
I'd be interested to try it again now that they've had some time under their belt.
Oh.
We went pretty soon after they opened, and it was pretty miss for me.
Yeah.
But again, I mean, 3 years, anything can change even in 1 year. So
I'll be 100% honest. I still haven't been to like Manhattan Project in person yet. So like I'm like totally like slacking.
All right.
2020 was like just a total miss on my part. So
listen, we have to hit a lot of places together before.
Yeah. Most definitely.
Yeah, soon. Yeah, because there is an announcement coming on probably in the next few episodes that I'm excited to share. Yeah. So, hint, we have to do a lot of drinking before then. So, okay, so that's pretty much the beer news. Just because, again, listen, we got one more week that I have to talk about events. So, but yes, if you guys want to hang out with us, look at this Meet the Turtles event. I am like 95% sure we'll all be there.
Teenage Mutant Meet the Turtles. Teenage Mutant Meet the Turtles. Teenage Mutant Meet the Turtles. It's at Martin House now. Turtle Power.
There you go. Yeah, I'm gonna hit up some of the people that I know that have wanted to like meet up with me that are local and be like, "Hey, I'm actually going to this one. Let's meet. Let's hang out."
Yeah. The turtles are in the back. They're behind the brewery, in the picnic seating area. If they do what they did last year, so
all right, there you
yeah,
go.
fun times to be had by all.
I wish I had something else to talk about, but I think it's movie time. Yeah, yeah. So this is part one. So the Twilight Saga, Breaking Dawn, part one.
Saga.
Jeez Louise. Are you kidding me? That's all I have to say so far. So go ahead, Anthony. Give us your little spiel and then we'll rip this movie a new one.
Spiel. My spiel is, well, I'm looking at the reviews and they're like, bad work. Like, we'll talk about that later. Uh, where the hell did it go?
Oh no.
Storyline. Okay,
There
got
you
it.
go.
All right. Bella and Edward celebrate their wedding, but after their honeymoon on Isle Esme, which I didn't realize that was the name of the island.
Mm,
Given in particular that they have the whole Renesmee thing going on.
yeah.
We'll talk about that later.
Yeah, whatever.
Things take a turn for the worse when Bella realizes she is pregnant. As the baby grows at an abnormally fast rate and causes many health problems to Bella, Edward and the wolf pack fear that she may give birth to an immortal child. But the Cullens will do everything they can to ensure that both Bella and the unborn child remain safe. Also, I may have fell asleep during a portion of this movie,
It would have been easy too.
but whatever.
I bet you didn't miss a thing.
I think I got the gist of it. So.
I mean, okay, so as soon as the movie started, you could tell, like, I even told my wife, I said, I bet you money we're gonna have a baby vampire. And like, I don't look at the synopsis, I didn't watch the trailers, I don't look at these things before I watch because I want to be surprised.
I was really thinking they really set up, I feel like, the Volturi to be like the bad guys for this next, like they killed off the main like lingering threat.
Yeah.
So I figured like the Volturi, which were like the other like lingering threat, I thought they were gonna be like the next thing. And they just didn't factor into this at all until
No.
like the very unless you watch like the post credits, which they also had post credit scene.
I didn't even see it.
They had a
I
post
just
credit
assumed
scene.
it wasn't there, so I
Yeah.
didn't.
The only reason I knew there was a post credit scene is because they didn't like try to kick me over to the next movie, like immediately.
Oh man, as soon as it was over, I was like, menu, 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 menu.
I don't blame you.
I'm just like, fuck this.
It's partially because I was like zoning in and out, and then I just noticed that it's like, oh, there's a post credit scene.
Is it worth me going to watch the post credit scene? Or are you
Yeah,
just
it's a
gonna
little
tell
bit because
me?
I like the guy who's like the lead vampire in the Volturi. He's a funny guy.
All right, yeah. So I'll go rewatch that before our next episode. But I mean,
They get on this lady about her grammar. It's pretty funny.
oh, nice. This sucked. Just
I wanted to see Seattle vampires versus it's Italy vampires, and it didn't happen.
there's zero. Yeah, it's like that didn't even exist anymore. Like it doesn't make and okay, so time in general in this one episode in this one part one doesn't make sense.
No.
Just time itself.
It's that, and it's also the poor choices Olympics.
Jeez, yeah. So there's just a lot happening where, and we've always criticized Bella with her emotions that her face always looks like she's very unhappy.
Yeah, we didn't even talk about this in the last episode where she didn't even look like she wanted to get married.
Well, that's this episode.
Oh, is this episode?
Yeah, this is the episode.
This is the episode where she got married. Yeah, she didn't even look like she wanted to get married.
Yeah, the whole time, and she's just like, she looks scared to death. She looks like she was gonna throw up. We thought she was gonna run away, but then like kind of, and a lot of these like romantic movies, they always feel that way. But then they see the groom, and then they light up and they're happy. That doesn't happen.
No, she looks like she's gonna throw up.
It almost looks like she gets worse, and you're just like,
which I
is she getting forced to do this?
I kind of partially put it to the fact that she had like that dream where she, which I thought was kind of interesting, where she saw the Volturi and this is why I also thought the Volturi were going to play a bigger part. They were ended up being the priests of the wedding, and then they were standing on top of the bodies of all the people attending their wedding,
Yeah.
which I thought was interesting. I thought it was gonna lead to something, and it didn't.
I mean, maybe part 2, but I feel like it would have happened by now. So, anyways,
You
yeah,
can save it.
so
Let's save it for the last 30 minutes of the last movie.
I just that felt weird. On top of, did you notice that all the vampires look like they have normal skin color?
I did notice that.
And this whole at first it's like, well, maybe they wore makeup or something for the wedding, but throughout the whole movie, they all look normal and like everybody looks a lot like they have better skin.
So I watched this with my wife, and she was. I think there's a portion where they're in Brazil, and
Mhm.
she saw Edward, and she's like, he looks normal. And like when they're driving through Brazil, and I was like, maybe it's because it's dark outside. I don't know. But like he's like, yeah, he's got like rosy cheeks and whatnot. It's like maybe they just have invested in some Estee Lauder or what have
Yeah.
you, and
I
they're just
noticed
like,
it at the wedding because it showed the whole family. I was like, they all look exactly the same.
yeah.
And yeah, I noticed too that there was quite a few times where vampires were in sunlight and there was no shining happening. Thought that was interesting. Um,
Not consistent.
that's the thing. If you're gonna make it a big deal that they're shiny in the daylight, make sure you they stay shiny in the
It's
daylight.
like they show them as sparkly when they want to show them as sparkly. It's not like they
Yeah,
forget about it.
yeah.
Yeah.
But so yeah, the whole wedding thing is just awkward. It feels like she's being forced to do this, even though it's what she's been wanting.
I feel like the most realistic thing about it is that Charlie is like not happy about it the entire
Oh yeah,
time.
yeah, he
Like
was funny.
even after the wedding, even after like the wedding is done, he's still not happy about it.
Yeah,
Even after like a week or two later, not happy about it.
yeah.
He's just like, I think this is a terrible idea.
He's the only smart one.
He's like low key supportive, but he's like, this is dumb. She's 18 years old. She should wait until she's like, okay. So he's like her dad. He's like, she should wait until she's like 40 years old.
Yeah.
But like Loki, she should wait till she's like at least like 5 years older.
I mean, she just shouldn't do this.
Yeah.
But so
Also, yeah.
anyways,
Also, she's marrying a 100-year-old dead guy. So
yeah. So they go on their honeymoon. the
breaking the bed.
the sex scenes were really weird.
Which I think we have some explanation for that because apparently they had to reshoot the sex scenes because the Motion Picture Association was going to give them an R rating because Kristen Stewart had aggressive thrusting in the original cut. So they had to reshoot them to be a little more PG-13 friendly.
Yeah, there's only like 3 thrusts that you see, and the bed just falls apart around them.
It was like I was watching this and my wife was like, "Is he that strong?" It's like I was like that, or there's like really bad termites in this
Yeah,
place.
yeah. There's 2 situations here. Either the place is all already falling apart, or he's apparently just super strong.
I don't know. Based on the reaction of the housekeepers that when they come in, it's must be that he's strong and not just that like there's just
Yeah,
terribly maintained.
but like based off of, I feel like the sex scenes is whenever I was like, yep, they're for sure going to have a baby. That's the next step of this whole situation. And that's exactly it. Well, even the whole time of like, so Bella has like bruises on her from him being too strong.
Yeah.
And so it's just like, we're not touching each other situation.
Which it was like barely a thing. It's like they made a point of this, and it's like, and I understand this is probably something that took a long time to resolve in the books,
Yeah.
but like it took like 5 minutes for him to like be like, okay, I guess we'll have sex again.
And it was like,
Yeah.
it was like an awkward 5 minutes of them playing chess.
Yeah,
Like, I'm
but
just
like,
saying, even if I'm not gonna spend my whole honeymoon having sex, it's like I'm not gonna sit there and play chess.
yeah,
Like, you're on a whole island. Like they did explore, but I'm just like, explore more. I don't know.
I'm starting to think that the chess was like maybe like in her dream that she had because it's like the colors like because she was playing as the white characters and
Right.
he was playing as the red and it's like symbolic of like the blood versus like purity. like of like not being a vampire.
Oh, okay.
So
I didn't really put
I
that
think that was all
together.
part of the dream where like none of that was actually happening.
Okay.
So we saw a lot of stuff that just didn't actually happen and is like really
Yeah.
not relevant.
But
And then but then she goes and she just like begs him to have sex with her. So it's like,
it was
oh,
it's a bad situation. But anyways,
as we said about the relationship, it's still kind of toxic.
yeah, it's such a bad relationship. Yeah, but then yeah, housekeepers come, and I guess the housekeepers kind of know that they're vampires. They know that there's something wrong with them.
He's a blood demon.
Demon, yeah. But then like somehow I don't understand how the housekeeper lady feels Bella's stomach and it was just like it's the devil or something like that.
It's like it's death.
Yeah, and like Edward somehow even knows that like this housekeeper has powers.
Well, she knows like so because she's a indigenous person in Brazil.
Yeah.
They have these legends and so she knows that A, he's a vampire, and B, she knows what is going on with her. Like she's pregnant with a vampire baby.
Yeah, somehow she
Yeah.
knows this. And I think that's what always confused me is like, wait. So all of a sudden this housekeeper can figure out she has a baby, which I don't know. The whole thing just felt really bad. Like this, like it was just done badly.
She's like a part-time shaman, part-time housekeeper.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway, so yeah, they're all freaking out because they thought vampires, I guess, couldn't have kids with humans or something.
It was like they even said that at one point, like they were coming to make sure that she was still alive because they were pretty sure he was going to kill her.
Yeah.
I was like, okay,
I mean,
low key hanging out on Isle Esme off the coast of Rio de Janeiro, which also is the name of his mother. We find out.
Yeah.
Coincidence?
Yeah.
Question mark.
So yeah, they go back to the States because she's pregnant and they're all freaking out. And so, oh, by the way, their honeymoon, it's like 4 weeks long.
Yeah, right.
So all of a sudden they're like, oh yeah, been gone 3 weeks. I was like, what?
Yeah, we like fast forwarded through a lot of that.
Yeah. I was just like, maybe a week has gone by, but somehow 3 weeks, which that's why it's just like whole
trapped on this island by themselves. Yeah.
That's why it's just like, whenever I say time itself doesn't make sense, it's stuff like that where they don't really show that a lot of time has gone by, but they've shown where it looks like maybe a week.
Did you know time dilation is another power vampires have?
Apparently. Yeah. It's Bella's power. So they get back to the States. Yeah, she's for some damn reason. Well,
so we find out she's pregnant back in Brazil.
Yeah.
They zoom her back to Washington so Dr. Cullen can take care of her. But now she's like super pregnant. And that's when Jacob finds her.
Oh, yeah. That
but like she's got sunken cheeks and basically she's like looking like she's getting like the she's looking like she's got Colin Robinson sucking the energy out of her.
Yeah, for real.
It's like, you know what would really make these movies good? Freaking What We Do in the Shadows, vampires hanging out in these movies. I really wanted to see. I would love to see them show up to the wedding. Like even from like if we had Taika Waititi playing the vampire from the movie, like in the like as just like a cameo.
Yeah,
that would have been great.
Yeah, we need some energy vampires in this movie.
Yeah, that would have explained everything.
But yeah, just I don't know. Yeah, the whole situation with the baby and Edward and Jacob and the family, just I don't. It just nothing felt right.
Yeah, even to the point where like so like previously like when we see like the when they have their councils with the werewolves and they're in their werewolf form, we just see them kind of snort at each other. Yeah. But they actually were like talking. I guess we heard their thoughts or whatever. But it was so weird to see them in werewolf form talking to each other. It just ended up being odd.
Yeah.
We ended up having voice work over that. And then we just ended up having like the weirdest part, which I'll save for my things I don't like at the very end of the movie.
I might say it, but
yeah.
So
I'll go first, so I'll beat you to it.
I guess like it was just weird because like so if Bella has this kid, she dies.
Yeah, that's the choice. Yeah,
And she thinks nobody mentioned this. They even said she thinks that right after she has the kid, if one of them bites her, she'll come back.
yeah. Even though they've told her that that's not how that works.
Yeah, and they were all like, "Yeah, that's not how it works, and the chances are super slim." Blah blah blah. But for some fucking reason, she wants to die to have this kid.
Yeah.
But everybody else is just like, "What is wrong with you?"
Well, except for Rosalie. She's
Yeah.
she. I feel like Rosalie just wants to kill her.
Yeah, yeah. Rosalie's all on board. She's
She's
just
like,
like,
oh,
cool.
oh, it's something she's gonna die if she does this.
Fuck,
Cool.
fuck yeah.
Fuck Bella.
Yeah.
Kill her off.
So, and of course, yeah. So the werewolves, except for Jacob, are like, I mean, well, Jacob's against it, but he's still going to, still
Yeah,
is
he's
just
still
like
Team Bella. Yeah.
yeah. But the rest of the clan is just like, we're gonna fucking kill Bella and the baby.
Yeah.
Like, let's get it done with. So he parts ways with them, and him and pretty much the vampire family.
Yeah, him
Oh,
and,
yeah.
And two other
Yeah, that's right.
werewolves. Yeah, they joined.
Yeah, they all
join up
decide
too.
they're gonna protect her, which I'm just like why?
And
Is there no other woman in y'all's lives you could just go hang out with, man?
But that ends up being half the movie of them just kind of under siege
Yeah.
in this house, and we just kind of slowly get like no resolution to her.
Yeah, 'cause-
like, so, well, we see her drink blood out of a styrofoam cup, which is also interesting.
Yeah. So yeah, no matter what she eats or drinks, she was like throwing up, and just the baby kept like just draining her, and they decided to try blood.
Yeah. Oh, negative blood. That's like some valuable blood.
Yeah, which I thought it was strange that he just kept around,
Yeah.
but I mean, I think he even said he kept this around for emergencies
Yeah,
or something like that.
Universal donor.
Yeah. So yeah, immediately like she just took one sip and she was like, the baby likes it. It's delicious. And you're like, oh Jesus, what is happening here?
Okay, so again, I watched this with my wife. She saw that she's gagging her ass off.
It was so gross
Yeah.
to watch. It really was. Especially like they used a clear straw. Don't use a clear straw. Like, we get it. She's drinking.
I was
like,
thinking, I was thinking because they put it in the cup, maybe they mix it in as like a smoothie or something. Nah, it's just straight blood. They just took it out of the bag and just like
and
poured
that's
it in
the
this cup.
thickest blood I've ever seen in my life, too.
Yeah.
Like,
it's the thickest blood, and it's also in the most fragile styrofoam cup I've ever seen as well.
oh
It's
yeah,
like there's like the scene where they
drops.
drop it and they break the styrofoam cup. Like, I've never seen one do that before,
Yeah.
unless he dropped it from like a second floor of a building.
Yeah, people are freaking out.
So yeah, that's gonna stain the floors.
I mean, what else to even say about this stupid movie? So she has the kid, and she
They like to like
dies.
eat it out of her too.
Yeah, that whole scene doesn't really make sense.
Yeah, the
And
geography doesn't make sense.
Yeah, I couldn't quite figure out exactly what they were biting. I kind of don't want to know.
Maybe it was the umbilical cord. Who knows? We don't get to see it.
Yeah,
so.
it doesn't make sense what's happening. But she dies. The baby comes out somehow super clean.
I thought it was like gnarly, like with like the red stuff, like blood all over it.
Oh, maybe it was. Maybe it's just.
It eventually becomes clean because when Rosalie's holding it later, it's clean.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then Jacob.
I'm sad that I know everybody's name.
Jacob gets his imprint on the baby.
Oh my god.
Which is awkward.
He falls in love with the baby.
It's
like this baby don't even know you, dude.
And
that's what saves everybody because he falls in love with this baby. The werewolves can't kill the baby. It's the one universal law of the werewolf. If you fall in love with something, other werewolves can't kill it.
And it doesn't.
Which this wasn't even something mentioned prior to it, right? They talk about imprinting, but they never said if somebody imprints on something, that other werewolves can't harm the thing that's been imprinted on, right?
Yeah.
They never mentioned that
No,
until like
that's what
that
we're talking
moment.
about. Yeah. So I don't know. There with that whole thing, it's so awkward to me and uncomfortable because it's just like this 18-year-old guy,
Yeah. No, he's a year younger. He's 17. Yeah.
17,
So he's still a minor technically, so it's not maybe not illegal yet.
is leaves his imprint on this 15
Yeah,
year
fif-
15
15
minute
minute a year old baby.
year,
Yeah.
yeah. So it just it's
15 minute
so
year old 15-minute old immortal baby.
yeah.
Which if it's working by Interview with the Vampire rules, that baby will be a baby forever.
See, I kind of wondered that
Yeah.
because everybody stayed the same age.
Yeah.
So I was like, is this baby gonna be a baby forever?
But
Based off these little flash, future forward flash things that you saw.
if this baby is like, but if it follows the rules, technically that baby should just be a fetus for like the rest of its life.
Yeah.
So
I mean, granted, it's half human, half vampire. So I don't know.
We shall see.
Yeah, but either way, it's weird. But granted, by hold on. By the growth rate inside of her, it'll be 17 in like a month.
That's very true. Based on the promotional photos I've seen for the next movie, it seems like that baby's gonna age pretty quickly.
I haven't seen anything. I'm not going to till I watch it. But so I don't know. That whole scene, I was yelling a lot throughout this movie. Like legit. I was just like, fuck this movie. This is so stupid.
It wasn't like, oh snap.
No, it was just like, what the fuck? I was like, this is it really. My wife was just like, okay, all right. But really, I mean, it was one predictable more than the rest, and it was just.
See, I feel like this movie was unpredictable in that it didn't do anything that I thought I was gonna do, but it just did less than I thought I was gonna do.
I feel like it did everything that I thought it was gonna do.
It's like when you watch was it the Hobbit movies, when you think that they're gonna like resolve everything before they decided they were gonna do 3 Hobbit movies. Everybody's thinking they're gonna do 2 Hobbit movies, but then it's like, hey, there's a 3rd Hobbit movie.
Yeah,
it's like you thought when you get to the end of the 2nd Hobbit movie, you're like, oh, it's gonna be the end of the movie. Nope, there's a 3rd one.
Yeah,
It's
let
like,
me just say,
I feel like it's the same thing here. It was like, hey, we got to the middle of the book.
I haven't watched part 2 of this, but I don't think there needs to be a part 2 of this.
I feel like I do feel like the ending of this movie is like the culmination of everything this girl wanted. We don't need to know. We don't need an epilogue.
Oh, yeah, because by the way, Bella comes back as a vampire.
We see her red eyes. She opens her eyes. She's a vampire.
I don't feel like I'm good.
I think we should. I think so. Just going into like what part 2 should be. I think she should just go full horror movie.
Yeah,
and she just kills everybody.
Killing everybody.
Yeah. She's like she devours the entire town of Forks.
Yeah, fuck what you guys think. Yeah. I'm not feeding on animals. I'm eating everybody.
Yeah, she just kills everybody.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
I just want to see the horror movie where she's like she hunts down Anna Kendrick. She hunts down all of her friends from high school. Mm-hmm. She brutally destroys all the vampires, all the werewolves. She's just like the most powerful vampire. She goes and kills the Volturi in Italy.
Yeah.
I would just make it that.
That's the only way I think you can go. Like, truly, by the way it ended, you're like, oh, I'm good. Baby's born, it's protected because Jacob, and then Bella's a vampire. Cool. Yeah. Like, there's nowhere else to go.
Yeah.
But no, let's do a part 2 for 2 more hours of what the fuck's gonna happen next.
It just reinforces my theory that this entire series is wish fulfillment for its target demographic. It's all about like, and that's the thing. Bella is not the reason Bella has no emotional expression during the course of the movie. Is so people who watch this movie can kind of place themselves in her position, and it's like a choose your own adventure, except you don't get to make any choices.
Yeah. Except for it's all chosen for you.
Yeah.
All right. What did you like the most of this?
Oh, movie? You gave me the hard question first.
I know.
I liked I did like the whole thing because they've been dropping hints about Jacob and how he had the opportunity to be alpha and he chose not to be. And then they started dropping hints, basically dropping like little indicators that he eventually will become alpha
Right.
of his
Right.
pack. And so I found that really interesting. Regardless of all the other stuff that happens with Jacob, I really thought like him breaking off from the main pack and getting out from under Sam's authority, and ending up becoming a leader of his own little mini pack with is this like Sam's younger brother and like the girl who was Sam's ex girlfriend.
Right.
People who were just like not big fans of like the current alpha.
Yeah.
Uh, and he becomes their leader. I imagine he'll end up becoming like the alpha in the second part
Yeah.
of their pack, and they'll be all friends with the Cullens and the vampires and forks. But I thought them kind of dropping hints of that because it did indicate he did start dropping hints in Eclipse where he was like, you know, I could have been alpha, but I decided not to because I was like, why? It's like it reminds me of that episode of The Office where Jim could have been the manager when
Oh
Joe
yeah.
offered him the position, but he's like, yeah, everything's going great. Why do I want to be manager? And then immediately the call goes to Dwight.
Yeah.
It's like it reminded me
Yeah. They're
exactly
like,
of
what did
that.
you do? What did you do?
Yeah. It's like, oh, well, so somebody's got to be the alpha, and you chose not to be. So of course, this asshole's going to be the alpha. But I feel like that was really interesting. It's like and showing him like, okay, I'm going to be the alpha. Uh, I you got to do the small steps here. I got to earn it rather than just kind of take it outright. So, I found that to be interesting. So that was a thing I liked about the movie.
So,
Ryan, what did you like about the movie?
mine's random. I like the beginning of this movie, the wedding, because it was just I couldn't stop laughing at Bella's face.
Yeah, that was
And
interesting.
I know that we talked about this like kind of with my wife before we came in here of just like her face the whole time. Well, for one, I love one of her what's the dad, Charlie?
Yeah,
I love one of her
Team Charlie.
yeah, one of her Bella and then Bella's mom's in there and Bella's mom goes, Charlie, you gotta come in here. She looks beautiful. She looks the same as she's looked the last like 3 or 4 movies.
Well, it's like Alice is like, don't ruin my masterpiece. Is like, you didn't do anything.
She's wearing a robe and then her makeup doesn't look any different.
Yeah, it's like the same as it's always been.
Yeah, and they're like, "Oh, you look so happy. You look so good." And her face is like dead. And then like so the whole walk before they see Jacob, her face looks dead. And based off her eyes, you're thinking she's regretting this. She's gonna throw up.
Yeah, she looks like she's gonna throw
She's
up.
gonna run away. And then she like, I think maybe Charlie is gonna be like, "Do you just want to get out of here? Like, do you just want to leave?"
I totally thought I was gonna say that.
Yeah. And then they turn the corner, and then you see Edward, and it looks
I
like
thought she was
she's
gonna stop and run away.
Yeah, you based off her reaction, again, most movies, whenever you turn and you see the groom, you light up, all that stuff, all the nerves go away, but it looks like it got worse.
It's either that or you bolt.
Yeah, it looks like it got so much worse.
It's like she didn't do either. She like made the worst of both worlds.
Exactly. Like it looked like she even more wanted to run away and throw up and just like all this shit. Like,
but she trudged on.
And then then they get there, they get married, and then I think it was also like at the honeymoon when she goes, "Don't you know that was that, or couldn't you tell that was the happiest day of my life?"
I literally can't read your face at all.
Yeah, and I yelled, you looked mad. Like, I don't know, like you look terrible. It looked like it might have been the worst day of your life. I thought it was great. I thought that was pure comedy gold for these movies.
That's what they're going for, right? They're going for comedy.
Yeah. It must have been because it didn't make
Kristen
any
Stewart,
sense.
greatest comedic actress ever.
I mean, couldn't you tell that was the happiest day of my life? Even Hannah was just like, "What?" So honestly, that was my favorite thing. Like the whole, it felt like a huge setup for that joke moment.
Yeah. It's like I've seen Kristen Stewart and other stuff. I know she can emote with other emotions.
Yeah.
So
give me something. I just thought that was great. Really, it just felt like a big build up to a funny joke.
Yeah.
Like all of this was just happening, and it's awkward, it's uncomfortable. But then the joke of couldn't you tell that was the best day of my life? I was just like that. It must
Is
have
it,
been for fun.
I'm just waiting for her to look at the camera like, right?
uh, so I think I like that the most out of this movie. So
Yeah.
the dislikes. I mean, there's too many. Anthony, I'm gonna let you go first
I'm gonna
because
pick one and let's see if we have similar ones.
yeah,
The moment where friggin' Taylor Lautner, Jacob, imprints on that baby. It's like as we've had explanations as to what imprinting is, and they have a little bit of a like a voiceover to remind us of what imprinting is. And it's just
oh
like
my
the
god,
nature of imprinting, it just sounds so weird when applied to a
a
baby
baby.
being held by like her aunt, sort of.
Yeah, I guess that point. Yeah, it's her aunt at that
Yeah.
point.
But a baby being held again, this baby's like less than a day old at this
Yeah,
point, and
max of 30
he's
minutes.
imprinted. And I know imprinting is not necessarily falling in love, but it's like he'll do anything for this kid or whatever. He has visions of this child when it gets older, but like
Yeah,
still like a preteen.
it's weird.
It's just the whole thing is weird, and I've heard about this before when the people talk about the movies. I knew two things about this movie. I knew that it was about a girl who falls in love with a vampire, and I knew at the end, Jacob's character, the werewolf, falls in love with a baby. Those are the two things I knew about it, and I felt like steeled myself for it. I was like expecting it, but it's still like off putting to see
I didn't
it.
even know that. Yeah,
It's like I knew about it, and I was still like off put by it. I was like, I understand why they're doing it for the plot. It's like the author, she got herself into a corner. It's like, how do you keep the werewolves from killing this baby and killing all the vampires and yada yada yada? Let's have the 18-year-old, 17-year-old werewolf fall in love with the less than 1-year-old baby.
yeah,
And let's throw in a rule that we've not heard yet. If you fall in love with
yeah.
if you imprint, sorry, let me use the proper terminology. If you imprint on something, the werewolves can't harm it. So that's how we're gonna keep them from killing this immortal baby.
Yeah,
That was the thing I hated the most about this movie. It
I
was just so
really
weird.
there's a lot that I don't like about this movie, but I mean, granted, y'all saw me talk about or listen to me about that whole segment. I think that is what bugs me the most about this. It's just it was there, and there's a lot of uncomfortable things in this movie. The whole honeymoon was very uncomfortable, and weird, and the wedding's uncomfortable and weird. The birth scenes are uncomfortable and weird. Like everything about this is uncomfortable and weird. But that just felt like a whole new level that maybe you shouldn't have gotten there yet.
Yeah. It's funny because Jacob is like flabbergasted at this baby too.
Yeah,
When he sees this baby, he's like, I think he's going in there to actually kill the
to
baby.
kill it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he's going
yeah,
in there. I forgot about that. He's
yeah,
actually going in there to kill the baby because he's like out. He's like, once the baby comes, I'll kill it myself. And he
yeah,
goes and sees the baby, and he's just like awestruck
yeah.
at this
It's just
baby, and he just like imprints on it like that, and he's just like, "What the fuck?"
yeah. I feel like even you know, I don't know. I don't know.
Like, where do you go from this?
Yeah, I don't know how you could do that correctly. Um, it just felt like yeah, it may not actually be that he fell in love, but it felt like he was just like this is my life partner right here. And it's just like, dude, it's like a 30-minute-year-old baby. Like you got to it just doesn't hit right.
It's like
So,
it's like you have to wait until that whole it's like age divided by 2 plus 7. You got to wait for that whole
yeah,
equation to work out.
wait a month. Wait
Yeah.
a month, you'll be fine. So, yeah, it's so again, I kind of agree. That's the weirdest part. That's the part I could pass on. So, all right. Where do you place this in the movies, the saga that we're going through? What rank do you give this?
All right, so number 1 is still Twilight. Number 2 is Eclipse. Number 3 is Breaking Dawn. No, wait. Number 3 is New Moon. Number 4 is Breaking Dawn Part 1. I was so disappointed by the lack of Otori in this movie. We had hints to them. We had them in post credits. I hope we're not just getting teased and they have no role in the last part of this movie. But I just want to get this series over with. So
Yeah.
I'm just hoping they help us kind of like there's some sort of existential threat that presents itself because everything's just been sort of like internal, nearby, just normal threats. Normal insofar as they apply as supernatural threats of like vampires and werewolves and yada yada. But they've done it in such a way that's like it seems so normal and boring. But yeah, I would have to put Breaking Dawn Part 1 as like the lowest ranked one right now.
I completely agree.
Yeah.
It's the same for me. To me, still, number 3 Eclipse is number 1. Then yeah. So
Yeah.
so
Coming out of this though, would you be Team Edward or Team Jacob?
I'm leaning again more Team Edward
Yeah.
because it almost feels wrong to be Team Jacob at this moment.
Yeah, first he makes rude advances, and now he's making rude advances towards a baby.
That baby, yeah.
Yeah,
He's just
he's
like,
not doing well for us.
You're my baby now.
Yeah,
in a weird way.
But of course, we're all Team Charlie. So
yeah,
Charlie is right in all of this.
Yeah,
so
Charlie,
he's the smartest guy in this movie.
1,000%.
Yeah.
All right. What did you think about this beer?
I thought it was good. The banana flavor kind of milds out a little bit as it gets warmer. But I enjoyed drinking it as you can see here. If you're looking at the video, it's empty. Yeah, it was pretty good. It's along the it's very close to Hoegaarden for me. Very very much in the Belgian tradition. But I enjoyed it. I would have to put it at a. Again, this is completely objective to what or subjective to what beers I like. So I'd have to put it at a 3.2.
Okay,
not bad.
Yeah,
it's for a Hefeweizen, it's good. But Hefeweizens just aren't on my top of my list.
Right. No, I agree. Like again, I've had quite a few of these. I feel like with it cold, super cold, and kind of like the fresh pour. It's so strong on that banana.
Yeah.
But then, yeah, I feel like it kind of mellows out, probably on top of us kind of just getting used to it.
Yeah, true.
To make it a super easy drink. So I mean, I give it a 3 for me. Just there have been so many hefts that like I love. I fall in love with. This is in there. This is in there, but it's still just a 3 for me. Which again, to me, that's not bad either. So
yeah. Like as always, I mean, for what it is, it's good. I was like False Idol, like they always make good stuff. So at least in my experience, so,
yes,
yeah.
Which I'm excited. Hopefully, the trends start to keep cooler around here in Texas, so we can start drinking darker and darker beers. So,
hell yeah,
I'm ready.
I go for some stouts.
I'm ready. I'm ready for stout season. Which I don't understand. If you're in Texas and you start releasing a shit ton of stouts in the middle of summer, something's wrong with you.
Why?
I've seen that.
Why?
There's so many breweries that do this. Yeah. I'm like, I don't like. I want it because I want to try it, but I'm not gonna get it.
If you want to go dark, go like a porter or something. Yeah. Go with this freaking stout.
Yeah.
Don't give me like a maple syrup stout in like July.
Yeah, I can't do it. Yeah. So, all right. So there's those. Let's talk about the thing of the week for us. What you got, Anthony?
So I think I talked about another Disney Plus show a few episodes ago. But this episode I want to talk about. It's been on for a few weeks now. But as of this recording, I've only seen 3 episodes. The new Star Wars show Andor.
Ooh,
have you seen that yet?
Yes, I'm caught up.
Yeah. Man, that show. I tell you what, I was a huge fan of Rogue One when it came out, and this is very much this is the same guy making this show that made the movie Tony Gilroy.
Mm-hmm.
If you like those like classic spy type movies where it's like everything's dark, gritty, and like just like your hero, he's like willing to screw people over to like achieve his mission. This is the show for you. The Star Wars movies maybe like kind of like crappy and like maybe they need some redemption, but the shows they're like I feel like they're going the route that MCU did where like everything's got like a different genre to it. And I feel like this has got the potential to be like the Star Wars series like a not Civil War, Winter Soldier,
Mm,
where it's got like that just like that genre of like uh intrigue and
right.
like just subterfuge. So I'm really looking forward to where the show goes. When you guys get to listen to this, it'll be I think like episode 5 will have been out by then, I think. Um so I'm really looking forward to where the show goes in the next 2 weeks. And yeah, this show looks like it's gonna be really good. This is gonna be 24 episodes altogether, is what they said. So I think it's like eight episodes in the season 1, 8 episodes season 2, 8 episodes season 3. So yeah, I'm really stoked to see where this goes. It's really seems like it's interesting. It's all leading towards Rogue One, of course. So we don't know
Yeah.
where it ends.
Yeah.
But it's also like kind of paralleling the show Rebels a little bit as well.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And so we get to see like a live action, like dirty version of that,
Right.
which I'm really excited to see. So yeah, Andor, check it out. It seems like it's gonna be really good.
Yeah. So far, it is
Yeah.
very good.
I'm enjoying it so far.
So mine's actually a game. So I play a lot of these, shooter games. I just been tired of them. I feel like lately they've all kind of felt the same. I was like, you know what? I miss a good story game. So I shopped around. I found it was on sale one day for free, and it was the newest Laura Croft game.
They have another one that came out?
Yeah.
Which
Well,
one?
it's pretty old,
Oh,
but it's like the newest one of it. I can't remember Shadow something. I can't remember.
Shadow of the Colossus. No, it's a different game.
Yeah, I couldn't tell you right off the bat of my head.
It's the newer ones though, where she's like not like the traditional Lara Croft, but she looks like an actual human being.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
one of the levels, she grabs a gun and I actually start shooting people, and you're like, oh, okay, this is a new Laura Croft.
Yeah. This is like the
Uh,
one where she like if she gets killed, she like brutally dies.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Okay. Yeah.
yeah. Because I was just like, you know what? Let's do a story. Like, I miss good stories.
Yeah.
I am
Those are good
having
games.
so much fun.
I played the first one of those, and there's like a scene where you're like sliding down a river, and if you don't like miss all the obstacles you're supposed to miss, like she like impales herself on like this log, and it is horrifying to see.
Yeah, yeah. There was one thing where like, yeah, I fell and like, yeah, it just like pierced right through my heart. I was like, oh shit.
Yeah. I was like, oh my god, this is awful.
But honestly, it's refreshing too. Like,
Yeah.
I just feel like lately a lot of the games just really have kind of been feeling the same. Um, and yeah, it's good story. It's really good gameplay. I mean, and yeah, you go from just like the obstacle course type feel, to
Yeah.
all of a sudden you have a bow or a gun and you're trying to survive, and it's really fun. I mean,
Yeah.
really, so I would either look at that game, or like if you're playing just one genre, like explore out. I mean, there's so many games. Like, I think eventually I'm gonna break down and buy No Man's Sky for the PC. Like, I love it so much. It's such a great game. I know through PC you can do a lot more. So, um, again, that's another story you create your entire life. Like, no, yeah, that game's amazing.
I think
So,
I still have your Xbox disc for that.
oh, probably.
Yeah. I think I've had it for like 3 years.
Yeah, honestly, you can keep it. I don't even turn on my Xbox. It turns
Yeah.
itself on. We only turn on the Xbox to play Overcooked. We still play it.
Yeah.
Which we've
That's a
been
good
talking
one.
about. We need to get you guys over to play because
Yeah.
we're stuck like on one level that we can't get past. But
But I'm happy to come in as the crazy wheelchair raccoon who likes to just like run into people and run over their feet. So
which, if you guys haven't played Uncooked, you need to.
yeah.
It's a lot of fun. And I mean, we love, me and my wife, we love playing it because, like, yeah, it forces you to communicate, and like,
Yeah, it will either save or end your marriage, I feel
Yeah.
like.
Yeah. You have to get in the mindset of like, you can't get your feelings hurt because you got a job to do. And
Yeah.
it's to make a weird ass food for monsters or random people. And yeah.
And hopping between box trucks.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. In weird situations, you're
Yeah.
making food. So that's a great game too. So yeah, I mean, honestly, to me, just find an adventure game, find a good story, a good adventure, and get lost in it. And I'm glad that I am right now. Like I haven't been streaming, and it's been just nice to kind of get lost in my own. So
Awesome.
yeah, all right. You want to talk us out of here?
All right. So you can find us on the socials on Facebook at Let's Do a Podcast. You can find us on Instagram at Listen to the Pod. You can find us on Twitter at Let's Tweet a Pod. Find us on the YouTubes at Let's Do a Podcast. Is that Let's Do a Podcast? Sorry, Twitter or just Let's Do a
Just
Podcast?
let's do a podcast.
Let's Do a Podcast. You can also find us on YouTube and Twitch and Twitter at Partycast Network. You can also look out your window and listen really hard, and you maybe hear us on the wind.
Maybe, probably not.
Probably not though.
But yeah, so if you listen to podcasts, if you use a certain one, let us know. We want to make sure that we're on that, so you don't have to go in a weird spot just to listen to us.
Unless you're hearing us right now, then just use that one.
Yeah, just use that
Yeah.
one. Yeah, forget everything I just said. If there's a beer or any type of drink, let us know. We'll try to make it or try to find the beer, whatever it is. We'll try to drink it for you guys as long as humans can drink it.
And we're trying to figure out what to watch after watching all these Twilight movies, because
Yes.
I think after this many weeks, all I know is Twilight.
Yes. So give us a good.
So yeah,
just any movie. Honestly, just give us any movie that you think we would like. For the love of God, help us. So, anyways,
all I can think
everybody,
of is Nicolas Cage movies, and we're not engagements yet.
we're not yet. We're not there. So, you guys, thank you so much for hanging out with us. We got one more movie. It'll be coming at you next week. So, at this point, let's end a pod. Bye.
It'll be over soon.
Bye. I love you. Bye.
So quiet.